Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, Record Breaker has finally dropped. Came out early in the morning, actually. I think at 9 o'clock my time, 10 o'clock my time, and we already got 2 reviews out for the Record Breaker cards. It's going to be difficult for me to get the reviews for David Silva and Mbappe for sure, because David Silva is currently extinct. Sancho, I think he's going to keep dropping in price because when I did the review for Oscar, he was at like 500k, and now he's at a nice little 440k. And I think when the promo actually drops at 1 o'clock, I could see him dropping all the more, right? So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and check out what the vibes are in the game. I do think that they have a Flash SBC going on. So if you take a look at the squad building challenges, these are the Flash SBCs. Oh, they actually have it as in the Black Friday column, I believe. Yeah, so here's the Flash challenge for a Jumbo Premium Gold Pack. I wonder if they're going to do Flash players, because if they do Flash players, I think that's going to be a little crazy, but we're going to see what's up with that. Leagues minimum 3, clubs minimum 4, team overall rating of a 75, and 80 chemistry. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what we are working with the Record Breaker cards, because they're obviously not going to add anything in regards to this. Or they did. They actually put a Black Friday one. Win 5 matches in any of the FUT game modes. Yeah, we already did like the objective cards for Premier League, Serie A and stuff, so we just have to complete these ones. We're in the season progress of level 15 so far. We're going to try our best to get to level 30. I don't know who I'm going to unlock on this account. It always depends on what other people do, because sometimes my boy Paul, he wants to unlock certain cards. Like, he's probably going to get Naby Keita. I think Naby Keita would have definitely been a cool card to get for sure. But there's also Romagnoli and Iago Aspas. I might just get Iago Aspas on my main, or Romagnoli, because I think the other guys are probably going to want the other players, right? So, yeah, let's go ahead and check out the actual players that we're working with over here. So we have Kylian Mbappe's card, who is selling at a cheap price of 3.6 million coins. Not too expensive, obviously. But if we take a look at the differences between the stats, we're looking at +4s for the shooting department, +1s and 2s for everything else. So the +4s definitely makes a significant difference for sure, because increasing base card stats for these types of cards is really, really good. He's obviously incredibly meta in this game. When you have a card like this in your team, like Mbappe, Neymar, Ronaldo, those guys make a huge, significant difference, right? So a card like this, chemistry style-wise, people give him a marksman, which definitely would make a lot of sense. His dribbling is pretty responsive in game, just from his rare gold card. So with this card, I do see it being very similar, if not very slightly better. The biggest boost for this card is obviously the fact that they boosted his shooting as much as possible. So this is a pack-oriented card. If you pack him, he could definitely be really cool. Not sure if I'll be able to get the review for a card like this, because obviously, he's really expensive, so we'll see what the vibes are with a card like that. With David Silva, he is currently extinct, as you can see here, with the 0 coins part on him. He's got 87 acceleration with 78 sprint speed, so if you give him a Hunter chemistry style, this card is incredibly usable in the cam position. Very strange that he's extinct. I do think that he looks pretty cool, but obviously, with the specific stats being as they are, it's not like an incredibly meta card, but he definitely looks like a ton of fun to use in game. Traits, he does have the finesse shot trait. I don't know what team player does. I need to see what's up with that. Finesse shot traits, obviously very nice to have, especially in the cam position with his shooting stats as they are. It'd be nice if his shot power was a little bit higher, so that if you gave him the Hunter chemistry style, you'd be able to notice that more in your finesse shots and in your shooting in general. But obviously, this card in the cam position looks like a ton of fun to use, especially for the Liga Santander aspect. His dribbling looks phenomenal as well, because all the base card stats look really, really good. Agility at an 89 is a little strange, but I do think that his dribbling would still be very, very good regardless. No defensive stats, no physical stats. And then obviously his base card stats for passing looks really good as well. Let's see what the other cards are. So we have Jadon Sancho's card, who we saw earlier at 440. Now he's going up to 445. So he actually went up in price by a little bit. I don't know if he's going to rebound. Like I said, I think his price is going to keep going down, especially when this promo drops and people are just opening packs like crazy. But with this card, 90 acceleration with 85 sprint speed is pretty decent, obviously, for base card stats, because again, this is the type of card you give a Hunter chemistry style to. Hunter chemistry style, maybe even a Hawk, actually. I think a Hawk would actually make the most sense because of the specific boosts that you give him for shooting, right? You want to give him that extra pace because I think pace is always going to be relevant regardless. But 95 acceleration with 90 sprint speed is pretty decent to have on the sides in the cam position. But boosting the shooting as much as possible is definitely very ideal because of his base card stats for dribbling actually being quite nice, right? So the only thing that's a little bit off of the card is obviously the 78 stamina, but it's not necessarily a huge deal, especially if you're not like over abusing those defensive tactics, right? The shooting on the card, for base card stats, it's just a shot power that's lacking. So obviously you want to increase it as much as possible. You will notice that base characteristic with shot power regardless, but I do think with the Hawk chemistry style, you could definitely make this card really nice. And I think most people chose the Hawk, yeah. So definitely makes the most sense. Dribbling will feel nice in the card because he does have, I think it's like just below an average body type. From last year, that's what I remember, right? I think it was just, I would say it's just below an average body type. So it's like in between a lean and an average, you know? But it looks like a pretty cool card. The physical stats that you give him is not really the most noticeable thing. It's just the shooting stats is, right? So giving him a little bit of extra physical doesn't hurt anybody, right? Especially if you give him a little bit of strength. Sometimes you'll notice it, but I think most of the times you won't really see the big difference, right? And then the two cards that we did the reviews on, if you guys want to go check that out, be sure to do so. But we're looking at Oscar's card, right? He's averaging around 147k, so I was able to buy this card for the review at 140 because I thought he was going to go up by a little bit, not by a lot. And then we gave him the Hunter chemistry style, so we actually made a profit on the card for 500 coins when I sold them at like 150, right? So wasn't necessarily too bad. I think it's like 500 coins. I think that's the estimate of the profit that we made on that card. I don't think we made too much of a profit. Maybe we lost 500 coins because of the Hunter chemistry style, but regardless, need to get the review out, so it's not a big deal, obviously, right? But with this card, his base card stats for dribbling look really good, obviously, right? The fact that he has 93 agility or 91 balance is amazing because his other dribbling stats will definitely work really well with the agility and balance. His base card stats for shooting is quite nice. His passing stats are pretty good as well. So a card like this, when you slap a Hunter chemistry style on him, it looks like a really, really fun card to use. The only thing that's obviously off with the card is the fact that his weak foot is a 3-star weak foot. It should be a 4-star, 4-star, especially for the FIFA concept. And, you know, when they release these new cards, they should definitely make them 4-star, 4-star. But the variables to work with when it comes to Oscar's card is obviously the link-ups, right? With Paulinho, Talisca, Alex Teixeira, right? Brazilian, Chinese, Super League links are always really nice to work with, right? But this card is obviously a very, very nice card to have in the game. And if you pack him as a first owner, wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing at all. And then last but not least, we got Falcao's card. So with Falcao's card, he's at 70k right now. So he went down a little bit, I think. I think he might continue to go down a little bit too. I don't see this being a card a lot of people use because the game isn't really formatted that way for people to use a card like this, right? In their teams, but obviously they have drastically improved this card with the pace, the shooting, the dribbling, right? So if you're a big fan of Falcao in real life, like I am, for the FC Porto concept, he looks really, really good. With this card, his base card stats for dribbling have been drastically increased, but as you guys know, I always believe that a card will perform mostly to whatever their base card stats were like before, because even when they get boosted, they still feel a little bit strange most of the times. I wouldn't say it's all of the times, but most of the times it definitely feels that way. For a card like this, I'd probably give him a Hunter chemistry style, just because I feel like giving him that pace in the striker position, probably on stay central, get him behind, or stay central target man, is probably the most ideal thing, because you want to make sure that his shooting is as good as it can possibly be, considering the fact that he does have the finesse shot trait as well as the outside foot shot trait. So if you get inside the 18-yard box and he actually makes that really good attacking AI run, then being able to take that first time strike, especially since he has that 4-star weak foot, would be a really good thing to have, obviously, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it in regards to the record breaker cards that they released today. I really wonder what they're going to do for Black Friday, because I'm kind of curious to see if EA is going to be releasing any sort of SBCs into the game. But we have 290k to work with. So with David Silva's card, I would have loved to do the review on him right now. I wish FIFA was kind of set up that way, where it's like, hey, you can use this card for like an hour and then you can just try him out, right? But you can see that I already have the filter for this card, and he is obviously extinct, right? So you can see that this card exists right now, but I literally cannot snipe them. Whether it's bots or whether it's people actually doing it, who knows, man. People usually snipe these cards because when the price range comes in, they actually cost a little bit more, so they make a profit regardless, right? So that's why people set up their little things when it comes to cards like this. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see what they release during the day, man. Hopefully I can get these reviews for Mbappe. I don't see happening because he's really expensive, but hopefully we can get the reviews for Silva and Sancho's cards. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys for the next video. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.